Okay. This is the Dayton Historical Commission meeting of August 12th.
If you're not ready, I'll just do it.
5 months ago.
Yeah, it's now 6 o'clock and I'm calling the meeting to order. This is a Zoom meeting. It will be recorded and shown on Dayton's YouTube channel at a later date. The listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Okay, and I can see that we're all here. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next is the minutes of July 8th. Unfortunately, Rafa.
Can I start?
Yeah.
There was some miscommunication. When we talked about 3025 Elm Street, your minutes said the house was a convent. That's not the convent. The convent's across the street. And then you wrote, the convent is behind.
I was
Whoa.
relying on the transcript because there was no video.
I know, but it's unfortunate you don't know that section of town. And I'm going, that teeny weeny little house was never a convent.
So we're not in the historical sharing.
It's under the
Right.
3025 Elm Street section.
Okay.
Okay, so it was never a convent, cross that out. And the convent is across the street from that,
Right.
if you want to put that in instead of in the back. But the funniest one was, there was a gentleman who donated who gave over 50 years to this town, and you called him Dwight Lang, and I'm going, who the hell is that?
I didn't even catch that
Dwight
one.
Lane, you don't know Dwight Lane?
No, never heard.
Oh my, Helen Lane, the
Lane's-
historian, it's her dad.
Oh,
Okay.
So you called him, and I'm going, who's Dwight Lang?
Well, the transcription automatically put Lang. And then.
Where were we?
Don't you read it before you
And
send
I'm
it out?
surprised, because Lane is a word. So it's not like, if I can understand if the last name isn't recognized, but
Yeah.
Lane's a word. I'm surprised the transcript didn't.
Well, those, I chuckled at those and I wrote those down. So whatever else you have.
no, I had the one about the convent, because I was like, that's not right. Where's the one about Dwight Lane? Oh, I see it. I got it. I missed that one
What
too.
section?
Number 10 in historical
10,
sharing, yeah. Like about 3/4 of the way down.
And when did your minutes go out? Because I didn't get them.
The draft. You didn't get the draft?
I couldn't find it.
Oh, I got the draft.
I got
it.
See if She
Everybody.
was a recipient, that's all.
Did you check your spam?
I didn't have time tonight.
I didn't send it tonight, so.
No, but I don't.
Anything else?
That's what I saw the one about the convent, so,
Convent and Lane.
yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
so I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes or should we wait until Irene has a chance to review them?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Don't wait on me.
Entertain a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Here's the list of recipients, Irene Alley at Verizon.
So next is our budget. We haven't spent any money, so our balance is $600 for the month of July. That's easy. Does anyone have any questions or comments about our budget and balance? Okay. Next is unfinished business, preserving memories of Dayton.
I
Zach,
had a great Zoom chat with John, and we're definitely simpatico in terms of how he's viewing the project and how we're viewing it too. He said he needed about, a couple weeks ago, about a month to preserve, get ready whatever materials he has, because we talked about Pat's topic suggested for him, West Dayton, his not acquaintances with the Hortons
mhm,
DR being built. And he
mhm.
said he had a lot of material on that. So he said he wanted to compile it. And I don't think it's going to be so much a lot of me asking questions, so much as me just saying, tell me about your history with North Dayton, because he's so
Yes.
informed.
Yeah,
Like some people might be more of a Q&A, but it sounds like with him, I might interject here and there, but I don't think I'm gonna need to really ask him a lot because he has so much. We're just going to go to cable within a couple weeks first because they have a green screen there and he wants to know if he can project onto the green screen, not project, but like pipe in whatever, because he has pictures and maps that he wants to bring. He's like, I can set it up on a thing, or we can try to put it on the actual screen. So we're meeting with cable to figure out.
Did you get a date for that?
No, he emailed, Dave emailed back yesterday
Oh, okay.
and said that I emailed him saying what we're looking to do. And he had said, let me get back to you. He said, Dalton and I are ready. Send us what dates work. So I emailed John and said, what dates work for you? Because ideally him and I would be going together. It's not a big deal if he can't come with me, but he wanted to because he hasn't seen the studio yet either.
Okay. Good. Wow, making progress. Is Jeff still interested? Okay. We'll have him next.
Do you have any potential topics for him that you can send or
Oh, gosh, he would be like the history of the fire department.
Okay.
not that he has to focus on one thing in particular, but Pat started
Yeah.
to do that like with this person, like I wouldn't have known to John, I wouldn't have known to ask about West
Right,
Dayton or him
right.
about DR. So it's, if you have areas
Yeah.
of focus that it'll help.
Irene, do you have any?
When he was a young boy working on the farms, yeah, he would like to talk about that.
Yeah,
Other than that, he might not let you get him word in edgewise.
That's fine. That's fine. So having
Yeah, because he grew
the
up.
fire
with
history, the fire station history, fire department history will be really,
Okay.
really interesting. Which obviously he must have a lot on.
Okay.
and he could talk a little bit about growing up in Dayton,
Okay. And he worked at ICI too.
oh, that's another whole topic. Yeah,
And if you want to relay this to him, so John was asking me too, how long should it be? And I said, I feel like I know people say that everyone's attention span is short nowadays, which I think is true, but also there are people who will watch seasons long of an hour-long TV show in one afternoon. If they want to.
Right.
So
okay,
if we were trying to get word out there, yes, you want it short, but if it's something that people are going to look up and want to watch, I was like, if he wants to talk for an hour, we can talk for an hour. If he wants to do 15 minutes, I would say let's stretch out 15 minutes because I don't know how deep we would get into 15 minutes. But if you think like he's like, oh, I could talk for an hour about the fire station, then we wouldn't have to talk about ICI. If he wants to talk about all of it and it goes over an hour, then that's fine too. I think it's whatever, something that's not airing at a certain time unless cable eventually chooses to do that.
Right.
I don't think we have a time. It's not like, oh, we're doing an hour-long segments. It's
Yeah.
whatever we want it to be, or however long the interviewee really feels like what they can talk
I
for.
feel like it'd be extremely interesting though, for the people that are gonna actually like watch it and be interested. I think it's gonna be something that you could sit through.
I would ideally, I would want at least 45 minutes.
Oh,
I know it
yeah.
sounds like a lot,
But
but
it's
like,
not.
if you're talking about something that you know a lot about,
it goes
Right.
quickly.
it can go quickly.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know enough, but I know what to ask or like help
Yeah.
facilitate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And do you think he'll be fine being on camera?
I think so.
Yeah, he doesn't have any problem talking.
Apparently I need to know all that.
So
Okay.
that being said, I could probably even go ahead and start talking to cable about setting up that one.
The only days he's not available is Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday.
Do you want to try and sit down with him and kind of like
Yeah,
a
it's
little
probably,
prep with him like you did with John? I think that's a good
yeah.
process to
Right.
use.
Pat, I don't know how much you know about this. But cable obviously films. I know my dad does a segment on Sundays. Do they film often on Sundays?
I don't
Because
know.
once the school year starts, it will be harder for me to do it during the day.
Yeah,
So with the job, I'll be doing the after school care, so I would get out around 5:30. So if it's a day that town hall is open until at least 6 and cable doesn't have a meeting they got to work on or using the studio, we can do it a weeknight.
Mhm.
But if Jeff can't do Saturdays, I would hope. Yeah, I don't know. Did they go in just that one Sunday once in a while for my dad's thing, or is it something that they don't care about doing and they'll do whatever on a Sunday? I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's a question that
So
you would have to
I would
ask them
about
and work
Sunday.
out
I would ask
with
them about
them.
Sundays. How far in advance do you think your husband would need?
I can ask him.
Okay. Cause obviously I won't do it this coming Sunday, but if they say 3 Sundays from now, Tuesday,
Yeah, I'll
okay.
have to see what our calendar is. The days that, I said he couldn't do it is the days he has to.
Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, right? Yep.
All right, so we can work that out. Okay. Finally, that's like off the ground.
Good.
Good. All right, the walking tour pamphlet for Quorum District. So Beth and I
Yeah.
worked on it. So let's stick it together.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. You're welcome.
Basically, I didn't spend too much time even talking about it the first time around because we knew we were editing a lot, but
Is this the final draft?
not that I can't still make edits to it, but final as in, it's not like, oh, Pat and I still gotta piece something in here, or we gotta fill something in
And
here.
more
It's
research,
done in terms of what we put into it, but it's not final in terms of we can't go back and fix something if we need to. No, it's not. It's definitely not done in that stretch now.
And it bleeds out when they print it, it'll bleed out to the edges.
Right, this is just in terms of just looks printing on the way we did it, but
Edit, remove vice chair. should bring it.
Oh, yeah. So that's gonna be on both of them.
good point.
And you have to put vice chair next to you. Sure it's not vice clerk.
And the August 2025 will be,
September, October.
Yeah, because I talked with Pat on the phone today, asked her, what should I put? I don't want to put the word publish, we're not publishing it. We don't want to put the date of the
Just so
tour.
that you know when
but-
this was made.
So even though the walk won't be happening until at least September, you still want to put August because that's when the thing was made? I don't, I'm not questioning it. I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thought today, you know, because we have to have so that there's some record of when this particular pamphlet was made, you know. I mean, we could just put 2025, we can put fall of 25. summer of 20.
I mean, the only thing that I thought, why would the time matter? But we already kind of, so we did have to, obviously, we added John Hathaway House raised in
Yep.
2025. And Pat and I were even debating, like, do we even include it? And it's like, well, the site was
Yeah.
still there.
the site.
Even though the
building
building's not, it's,
Right,
it contributes enough to
Yeah.
the area.
Yeah,
So, but we do obviously had to put a note saying that it's no longer there.
when you pass these out, they will be folded.
yeah, yeah.
So-
They fold them, right?
I'm not being anal here, and if you don't want to, that's fine. When you fold it, you cut this guy off. Can you scooch him over?
So when they do it, you can talk to the printing, when you take to the printer.
I'm trying to fold it as good as I can.
If you look, there's a dotted line that goes right down the middle.
Yeah,
That's where it will be folded when they do it. So when they fold it, it will be along the dotted line and it'll line up.
It has to be, everything has to be.
Do you think it's still off?
I understand what you just said, but how can it? Because I'm folding it in perfect thirds, see it?
Yep,
I mean, come on.
yep.
And you cut off this. So I understand what you told me, and, well, good luck with that.
Yeah,
I just think it's gonna be off, whatever.
That could be something to work with the printers
yeah.
on, you know, to make sure that the
But-
layout is correct.
Yeah,
Um,
Of Hathaway House alignment.
Experts.
Yeah, they're the experts, because when I took it to them, they said, you know, this is what we want, you know, like a try.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Beautiful.
No, but you're right to have it
Yeah,
folded
yeah,
properly. You
that's why I
want
had
it
mentioned that,
folded.
said I want to go, I want to go with
Yeah.
you when we
Yeah.
do it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring my computer. So if in the moment they say, you gotta scooch that over, I can just do it and then resend it to them. So.
Right,
because
because that's, you know, that's a technical thing that they can,
Yeah.
they know how to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, because that, yeah, I can see what you're saying.
definitely.
Right there, yeah.
So what do you think about the date? Leave it as August as, or do we want to put fall? 'Cause really-
Fall's a nice word.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
Fall sounds better. Fall 20.
yeah.
Does everyone, is everyone clear on the pictures of the maps? Because Pat and I were talking about that for a while, the way, so obviously one is from a two-dimensional map, one's from a bird's eye map, one is a screenshot from Google Earth, and Pat and I were, I think the longest that we
That was
spent
good,
was
yeah.
trying to figure out, does looking at it make sense to you? Like the two versions of the past versus the present? And is it like showing everything correctly?
I don't understand the middle map. Where's the river? Orient me, tell me where the
The
river
river's
is.
where the boat is. It's
So right here, yeah.
Okay, so then,
So like this wharf is this right here. So this,
so here's the river.
yep.
So here's, whoa,
Got it.
quickly moving river. So
This,
here's,
yep. So this wharf,
Pleasant Street. and
this
here's Water
wharf,
Street.
this wharf is that right there. Is what Pat and I. We probably, and Pat, maybe we should put, I mean, should we put a disclaimer saying they're not necessarily
It's
to
not
scale?
to scale,
I mean, it's
yeah.
close,
Well,
but
neither one of them are. to
neither one, I mean,
scale.
yeah, I guess no old maps are to scale
Yeah.
necessarily, but
I'd get rid of, again, yeah, humor me. I'd get, what's on the street here? Like it's going up,
The horse,
the first one?
yeah.
That sure don't look like a horse to me. It looks like either a wild puma, you know? The horse and carriage going the other way.
she's kind of right when you look at it in comparison.
It's kind
They
of
look
right.
silly. I
Well,
would,
that's the map unless
It's a
we
horse,
wait.
There's a man on it.
Yeah,
on the first one?
yeah.
What is he, a jockey? Because look at the size of the man compared to the horse.
Maps, because that's from the map.
I did
Oh,
actually.
God. The other one looks nicer. He looks more in proportion. This guy over here,
That could be a big dog.
but it looks like a dog or a, yes,
Yeah.
yes, it
Great
does.
Dane.
There's a Great Dane running up.
So it's that section right
Just me. I would get rid of it.
You could work it out, I
there.
guess,
Yeah. Why
yeah,
not?
Just that right there, yeah.
yeah.
Well, they had Great Danes back then.
They did.
Did they ride them?
Yes,
By the Danes.
little men, only little men.
Hey. And Pat, while you're here, can you just look over the wording of the parking? Does that make sense? That's what I called you about today.
Oh, yeah, for parking, we recommend leaving your car at Tricentennial Park, conveniently located between our two historic districts.
Is that,
Yeah.
okay.
And add, please lock your cars.
Period.
Period.
Sounds.
Yep, I know. Here, I just saw that too, Pat.
TV, camera. Never know.
Yeah, because we've talked about the parking on both Pleasant Street and Water Street. If you park on the side of the road, it's very narrow,
Yeah,
you know.
Walking area right there.
Yeah,
Water Street.
yeah.
Looking at this now, I'm gonna fix it. I don't like how the only thing on that line is the word 1938,
Yeah,
which I can tweak that. It's fine, but it's just bothering me now. That's the only thing on that
you know
line.
what you're spacing here, maybe like the above, you can, if you put it,
Yeah, it's in block format instead of being left
Yeah.
or right justified. So when you do that to make it line up, it does put in bigger spaces in between words.
Yeah.
It drives me up the wall.
right?
Like
yeah,
down here,
you can
look
see it,
look at
yeah.
between Whitmarsh,
Yeah.
Major and Charles is a huge gap. But you can add a couple more words in there to make it, it's just when you do block format, and that maybe that's one thing they can even help me with at the place.
Right.
That
Right.
formatting too,
So when you go, you want to talk about like this. block.
the block formatting.
Because now that you point that out, I can see it like,
Yeah.
It's, yeah,
Yeah, it's,
obvious.
and like I could just left justify it and it wouldn't be an issue, but then it won't look as neat and lined up. So,
Also here in circa, shouldn't they have space between circa and the date?
where?
Space.
oh, and he built this Georgian house circle.
Oh, yeah, that was just a typo.
Oh, yeah.
George Shove.
Yeah, so we're just gonna, yeah.
George
Shove it.
Shove. So,
So why don't we, not that, why isn't it called the Quorum Shove House? 'Cause it seems like all these houses, whenever someone else adds, someone else owns it, ends up become a slash or a, to the name of it. I'm not saying,
I don't
I'm not saying we
know
should change it on this. I'm just
yeah.
saying in general,
I
why
don't
don't they
know.
call it that?
I think it.
Because
I
if he
don't
owned
know.
it
Yeah,
in the 19th century, I mean, it's not like he would, it's not like he just started owning it in the 2000s. I mean,
Right,
it sounds like
right.
it's obviously, it's considering he was a prominent person too. I'm just surprised they didn't end up call it the Quorum Shove House.
so with George Shove, I tried to find some, genealogy stuff, but I found conflicting information. And given the time constraints, I was like, oh, I don't have time to, confirm his genealogy or not. And I'm sure there are some residents out there that are related to George Shove that have it.
What was conflicting about it?
Which lineage was his? Because when you're doing it with some of these families, has the same names in the different generations.
Right, there's a lot of George Shoves, so.
Yeah.
But this George Shove was definitely the one who authored that. Okay, well, at least we know that much.
Right, right.
And he was definitely the Shove that added the porch.
Yes.
At least, I mean, obviously that seems to be
Yeah.
the,
All right. Does anyone else see any other changes? I wonder too, like when they bleed it out, if that changes where the folds are, not knowing anything about printing.
so the black line that you kind of see around it right there. That black line.
Yeah, at the bottom.
That's what-
Oh,
The,
that's.
the template called that the bleed line.
Mhm.
So that's
Okay.
why I was sticking to making sure nothing past that. But I don't know why then the dotted line is. Trying to find the. So it called that green line, so it's, you can't really tell it, the bigger, thicker line that you see right here.
Yeah,
The template calls that the safe area. Then it calls the dotted line that's like on the outside down here,
yeah.
it calls that the trim size. And then this red line way down here, it says bleed size. And the template it said, make sure anything you don't want cut off, make sure it's actually within the safe area. It didn't say like, make sure it's within the trim area, it said the safe area. And then the reason why the picture, the background of the map picture takes up the entire thing, it said, if you want no white spaces, make sure your background covers up the entire thing.
Right.
So it's like, we don't want white at the end. We don't, obviously, we're not gonna see white right here.
Mhm.
It's gonna be just the map.
Yeah.
But like I said, when we meet with them,
And you're going to Duval or no, BP or Duval?
Vival's doing this.
Yeah,
So we should do that as soon as we can, only because once the school year hits, it's gonna be hard for me to go during the day.
it'll have to be.
Doable for me to
Yeah.
go during the day, just be.
Yeah,
So if we can't within the next couple weeks, I mean,
then maybe end of next week or so,
okay.
as long as everyone's all set with this. So then on the Wharves District too, we would add the parking information
Yeah, we'll just copy and paste that panel
Yeah.
onto that one.
and make the corrections for the vice chair
Yeah,
and put the date on it.
yep.
Okay, and then we'll be ready to print. Because we have the Bay Coast grant to spend on it.
Do we have a date yet for the library opening?
No.
Not that determines this, it's more about when we do the
Yeah, when
tour,
we
but
do the
I mean,
tour, yeah, no. And that depends on the occupancy, when they issue the occupancy
which Jim
permit.
still hasn't.
No, not yet. Okay, does anyone have anything else on our brochures? I'm so glad you came along, Zach, and put it together because I never would. That's beyond my skills. I will, for our next meeting, have a draft of a letter for the property owners too.
Oh, that's right.
Because we were gonna send them, with the brochure, send them a letter to let them.
I'm gonna send them a copy of the brochure. sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I- Yeah,
yeah, but yeah,
A
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
definitely. Good deal.
yeah, so, okay. All right, next are significant properties. I started looking at them and I was like, oh, we have so many. So, based on the way that our demolition delay bylaw defines the significant properties, it's either listed on or within a national register district. So that means all of our homes in the national register district are significant. If it's associated with one or more historic persons or events, architectural, cultural, political, economic or social history of Dayton or the state. And architecturally important, especially like if it's associated with, an architect, a known architect or builder. So I thought, I started thinking about, I was like, oh, where do we start? So like the Carnegie Building is significant. I think the community church. I was thinking, Dwight and Macy Lane's house where Helen Lane lived, our first historian. The brick church. The Ezra and Mary Richmond house, it's Thomas Richmond lived, their son was there. He was very involved in a lot of, town stuff. And he was actually the first selectman when the town separated into Wellington as one of Wellington's selectmen. I was just like trying to think of different reasons why people would be important. None of these have to stay or go. The Gushy House, where the James family lives now.
What house?
Gushy House is on Elm
How do you
Street,
spell it?
Gushee.
Oh, yeah.
So that was associated with Reverend James Smith, who was a minister of one of the first of either the first or second meeting house. He was the son-in-law to, was it Nathaniel Fisher? He followed Nathaniel Fisher as reverend, but he lived there. He had like an academy there. And then Abraham Gushy, who later was the minister at the Unitarian Church, the Dayton Community Church, lived there, and he also had an academy there. Then we have 100 Acres that has like a lot of the Briggs family and the Briggs Dam and their factories that were there. And the John Clouston House on Old Somerset Ave. And then our segregated schoolhouse. So Pat, you look like you've got papers and
Tons of stuff.
go.
Okay, well, I thought when you mentioned the church, the West Dayton Baptist Church is a significant property. So if you're talking the community church, you're talking this church. I wouldn't talk about St. Peter's anymore because it's turned into a private home and I would forget that. I would forget the other one on Main Street.
The Methodist
When we
Church.
talked about the academy, how about the academy that was on Main Street, which is next to the parking lot of the
Oh, yeah.
Carnegie Building? That was an academy for many years. I also thought the buildings that were once part of the one-room schoolhouses. So, I mean, we have what, like 9 or 10 left. So you're talking the garage on Pleasant Street,
Yep,
Phillips's garage.
yep.
You're talking the garage near Shara's house now,
Oh, yeah.
that belongs to the Carr family.
Yep.
You're talking the Flat Rock School, Albert's house at the end of Main.
Yep.
And Williams. The Fish School was demolished. There is another school on William Street heading toward more 44 Way
Yeah,
on the left-hand side.
yeah.
Well, all the schoolhouses.
Okay.
This one on Middle Street, you know that. Yeah, where Scott Maxfield lived, like one house away from Scott Maxfield's house. Oh, you didn't mention the Grange. I don't think you mentioned the Grange, did you?
No,
Okay, come on, that's the most significant, but you don't think of everything
Yeah.
because it's-
right.
how can you think of everything?
You mean here?
So I ran a Form B on here.
Okay.
So I was concerned about the schoolhouses, I was concerned about the Grange.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, like I said to her, I had my list and I lost it. As I'm coming down Somerset Avenue tonight, I don't know the number of the house, but Atwood's house that they have just redone over.
Is that what's?
Yes.
Yeah, Bruce.
And then 1399 Somerset Avenue, which is, would have been Pelletiers.
How old is that house?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So there's two Atwoods on Somerset, 1304 and 1872.
1276. I lived in that house,
The Atwood one?
so it's 1276. Second floor at the time was 1278. I lived at 1278. It's green now. Two doors down from the elementary school.
Yeah.
Oh,
Take the
oh, yeah,
elementary
yeah.
school,
Yeah.
take the brown one,
Yeah.
next to that, the green
Oh.
one.
So are you saying just Bruce's or the other one that he owned too?
Bruce is the one that she.
Yeah.
Want the store next door? Is that what you mean, the other one too?
No, Bruce owned the red house, where Ernie lived, where you lived, right?
No, I lived in the green.
You lived in the
house.
greenhouse. So Ernie lived in the one that's red. Who lives there right now?
Leslie's daughter was there. Did she move out? Leslie Atwood's daughter lived there. We went to a tour of her home one year.
Okay,
Is
and
that
she
the one
made,
that they just redone over, that they've been working on?
Scott was doing work on it.
yeah.
I hadn't thought of that one. The other one that I was thinking of is the one up here. I think it's 926 Somerset Avenue.
The one
It's
that,
currently got a for sale sign on it.
The blue house.
Oh, Mrs.
Yes.
Watson's house?
Yeah.
This is Watson's house. And the other further one is Filbert. It's got all the
But
rhododendron.
you can't see it because
No.
there's big
Yeah.
bushes in front of the house. I don't know the date of that house either.
I think there is a form on that one. Okay,
That was what I had picked, and I think there was another one too. And like I say, I lost my paper and I can't find it.
Well, there's the old house on Lincoln Ave near, between Rafa and the store.
The one on the hill, the brown.
Yeah. 17 something something.
Yeah,
What's their names? I know the people, I know their name and I can't
they
think of
cut
it.
down the tree, the evergreen tree, and they did a great landscaping. I don't know who owns that house now, but they did a lot.
Are you talking about the little Cape,
The what?
the little Cape house? It's a
Was it
Cape.
like the blue house or is it brown house? Because on the corner, I thought there was a little blue house.
Yeah, but
the one
this is
next
on the
Blue house,
corner.
and then there's a
Okay.
yellow
next to
house.
the,
Liquor store.
next to the liquor store,
Or
yeah.
one- It's either one next to it or skip one.
Oh, Johnny's Liquor, and the house right next to it.
It's either next to it or
Oh,
it's
this is
skip one.
next one.
I'm not sure.
Okay, the next.
I can't picture it right now.
But the one
That's-
next to Johnny's Liquor, whoever used to own that house, put a historical marker that says 1775.
Okay, then maybe it's that one.
Not even sure if it's actually 1775.
See, we're only concentrating South Dayton, you know,
Yeah.
you gotta consider there's more out.
Yeah, I know, and then I tried to get to North Dayton and I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Some of mine might end up going there. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay, what do you got?
So I was focusing on houses named like where, if it's Briggs Street, the Briggs, like the namesake for things in town.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there's more than one Briggs house. Do you know the Briggs of the actual Briggs? Like, the first Briggs that the street would be named after. I have a list of them. I just,
Matthew Briggs
There's Matthew Briggs, there's,
started the shovel business.
yeah,
Which some people say turned into Ames Shovel. Ames
Oh,
is a
that went-
really big name in
yeah,
shovels.
yeah.
But somebody else tells you that Ames comes from Norton or Easton Way.
Because is
Easton.
it
But it was
Shovel Town Breweries in
I
there?
Told my husband that Matthew Briggs came and that started,
So
I know it's Matthew Briggs.
the,
I know.
the, old according to the spreadsheet I have is just all the Macros sites downloaded. And I figured, would it be the first one? The first one's a Captain James Briggs.
so that was,
But he's not on Briggs Street per se. It doesn't mean the
Yeah.
street was, it doesn't mean the street was eventually named after him.
right,
But ones that like Matthew Briggs, that address is a Briggs Street address. Is it David Briggs? That has a Briggs Street address. Those are the only two that have a Briggs Street address. Not to say, again, not to say that the namesake didn't necessarily live on that
Mm,
street,
right.
but I don't, that's why I figured you guys would probably know who is the Briggs, like whenever, like, is there one in particular the street was named after? I don't know. But
So,
the,
well, you could see how people would say, well, where, like way back when, well, where Matthew Briggs lives, so, we're going over to Briggs,
Right.
eventually. Because if you look at even Horton Street.
that's one of the, I was gonna ask you that one too.
A lot of that was part of Solomon Horton's farm. And he had, I don't know, a number of sons and they divided it up. And it's also related to Simeon Horton, who ends up over here. But that, they did have farms there. So I would imagine that's why it's,
The only Horton house that's on Horton Street was Talbot O.
yeah.
Horton. That's the only Horton, but there's
But
another
that's
Horton
all-
house that's on Elm Street. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they and, but the Talbot house is 1845. That's the oldest named Horton house that we have. I don't know but that's like, if it isn't, even if it's not the person, assuming it's Talbot, he's
I
probably
know
a
that-
close enough descendant that it might be worth recognizing that that's house a namesake for that street. Lincoln Ave, do we know what Lincoln, the oldest Lincoln, it was a Nathaniel R. Lincoln, but that's Pearl Street. But then there's at least 3-4 other Lincoln Aves with the last name Lincoln. Do we know? And that obviously that street was not originally Lincoln Ave.
No, it
So
was
it would make sense it was a later dated house because do you know what Lincoln? And then Richmond from Richmond Hill. Was that, do you know what Richmond that was in particular? First name?
No.
There's a Captain William Richmond
Was it Sylvester? What-
and Colonel Ezra Richmond and a
Ezra sounds
Williams.
good.
The Ezra was the oldest one, 1751
Yeah,
on
that
Elm
sounds-
Street. So it would,
Ask me about Marion Ave. Boy, do I know who that was named after. Come on.
is the house still there? Is there a house with that?
Marion Ave was named after Marion Roderick.
Also okay. And now is
And
that,
Estabrook, Esther was his wife. So Marion and Estabrook,
okay, so
named after the Rodericks who lived over there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I found that out. And I was talking to the granddaughter. She was at the community church for the Declaration of Independence
Oh,
thing.
okay.
She has dark hair. I never seen her before. She's a very pretty girl. And when she was talking, she said, that was my grandfather. And so I know that her people were Rodericks.
Oh,
I don't know her name now, but she's big in the church. So do you know a woman who's very pretty with dark hair and she's big in the community church?
not off the top of my head.
I don't know those
Yeah,
people, so.
I'm not, yeah.
Walker Street, is it safe to assume that was Colonel, is it L. Nathan? L. Nathan Horton? Like
It-
E.L. Nathan,
It
E.L.
might be
all one.
because El Nathan lived, when you read about him, he lived close to Taunton.
And that house was dated 1750. That's the oldest of the Walker named houses. So, and that's on Walker Street. Actually, it's the only named, this is Walker burial ground. There's no other Walkers named who live on that street. So I bet it probably was. And then Williams is William Street, is it J. Williams that lives on William Street, but that house is dated 1850. I would imagine it might have been someone before him, but I
Mm.
don't know. Cobb. None of them have the Cobb's Lane address, but I would imagine Cobb's Lane must have been named for one of them because there were a lot of Cobbs in town.
Yes, William Cobb, he was a builder.
Captain, was it, so the Captain William
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 192 Main Street
Yeah,
and the Carriage House. I bet it's probably that one then.
because he had a business down there.
Smith is Smith Street. Anyone, there's a David Smith house on Smith Street circa 1881. And a Smith house on Elm Street, but I don't know. And then Whitmarsh and Wheelers are the other two that I got. Wheelers, none of them live on Wheeler Street. But this is-
Whitmarshes were all over town.
Yeah. So it's like Samuel Dean. Whitmarsh seems to be the oldest. No, sorry, no. Major John Hathaway Whitmarsh. Oh, that's on Water Street. That's Hathaway House, wrong one. So then I would
Yeah, that's
say,
Charles Whitmarsh.
then I would
right.
say Dean. I think it's
That's it.
Samuel Dean, Whitmarsh or Dean Samuel. I can't tell the way it's highlighted, but
Okay, all right.
Did you have Kenny's house on Milk Street?
No, but
Yours?
I thought about that, yeah. His is,
Yeah, with
yeah.
all the Ezra Stiles,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah.
And did you have the Smith Hall?
No, because we had already declared that locally significant. Because we already said the Winslow Davis Museum was significant. Oh, we did the library too, I think now. No, we didn't do we did the Winslow Davis House and
Yep.
Museum. We did the Mount Hope Company area and Smith Memorial Hall.
So, okay.
So we've declared those three as already being significant.
Why don't we just declare every property that's 100 years old historically?
well, that's one thing that I did too. When I first did it, I just went to like, I'm gonna sort by date, just the oldest ones in town. But I figured just because it's the oldest doesn't necessarily mean it's,
Yeah, I looked at it as how did it contribute to the life in the town?
that's why I figured
Yeah.
like, I figured if we decide to name a street after someone,
And it's-
chances are they had some
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
prominence
some
at the
kind
time. That's what was my mindset for mine was like,
Right,
because like age alone will be great, but is it just old or
no, because it can be just old, but not,
relevant to
It
just,
actually happened in the house,
or, yeah.
right?
what mysteries. Well, that's why-
That's why I'm trying to make my house historical, because I'm giving all these parties.
For the ones who lived on Bridge Street.
It's the most social house on Lincoln Ave. And the oldest. Empire, by the way.
1139.
Yeah,
Okay, well, this is the Form F for 1130 Briggs Street, which is, and if you flip over, you'll see the picture of that's where they started the shovel. So that's, it's closed off. You can't drive over there. That's
Can't live
the
without a
house that,
shovel.
and the map on the second page shows Matthew Briggs.
all right, so that's in the 100 acres.
Yeah.
form.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
That, I don't have the one listed separately, but because it's included in that, then maybe it could be that. With the, if that's 1700, then that is the oldest one, and it's not anything here.
I mean, that's definitely, significant, I think, for that whole
I
area.
haven't seen this.
No,
Yeah, you know what? And if you read the historical significance, it says shortly after 1700, Matthew Briggs came over from England.
Mhm,
So it sounds like he's the first one. So I would
yeah,
say this
yeah.
house
yeah,
probably is of Briggs Street. It would probably be. I would say, it would pretty much,
It's Briggs Street.
yeah,
right.
I would say so.
So I think we make a list. And we work on it a couple of times. Shara, do you have any that you have to add?
I don't, I'm sorry. I've had a lot going on.
Throw yours in.
Well,
She just happens to have.
I just happen to have,
Dairy Farm?
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's funny, looking at this, I'm like, oh my gosh. I can see already that this is already gone right here.
Well, if you read about it, it tells you
Yeah.
who was there and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. I thought you might enjoy it.
What is the other
At
one?
one point in time that they had that,
On Staten Rock
started to
Dairy
get that
Farm.
nominated for the National Register.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've been looking through all these maps lately, just to try and find other things going on from the house.
Mhm.
Yeah, but so this is still here. So this was the actual where they kept the cows and they did, it's all still attached.
Okay.
So it's cool, but unfortunately you can't get in there right now because somebody has a bunch of stuff in there that is not my father's but there's asbestos in it.
Oh,
So I can't remove anything from there unless I hire somebody because I'm afraid to or my husband can
yeah,
just
yeah.
get a suit and start cleaning it.
You can do it.
But yeah, so this is all still good. And you know what? It's really cool. So I'm going to tell you. So one of the things, so where my bedroom is now, there is it looks like a trap door, but you literally lift it up and it goes down the stairs into the kitchen. And yeah, that's where
A secret passage.
it is. It really is.
Wow.
It's the coolest thing ever.
It's still there and you can still use it? It's-
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can open
It's
it
so-
up
wow.
and actually the stairs are better than going down in the basement stairs because nobody's ever really used it.
So they obviously frequently use that enough.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And so we were originally gonna put carpet in there and we're like, oh, we can't do that. Because that is the coolest thing. to be
Yeah,
able to
right?
lift up.
Yeah.
And so my husband thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. So when I'm sleeping, he said, oh.
I get scared.
Yeah, so, but it's really cool. So when you look at the floors, because we're gonna sand them and because they're all the original floors for the house. And we're not removing anything. We have all kinds of original things in the house, but obviously things that we now have walls in the kitchen, which is important. Yeah, so it's really, really cool. The little intricate things that I found, even some of the doorways are the original doors that still have the skeleton key,
Wow.
which is
nice.
on my husband's keychain because this door right here is the coolest thing. So you actually open the door with the actual skeleton key. It's the original door right there.
Wow.
And so that's on my husband's the happiest. I'm never changing that. Ever changing that. So yeah, it's really cool. All the original windows.
Wow.
You say, wow, now.
Yeah.
Gravity is a bugger.
Yeah, yeah, and to try and, fix some panes, it's not cheap.
No.
But yeah, so the milk house though is really cool because it says right on the outside of the milk house, it says 1936. And it's all the original out front and it's beautiful. And my husband's like, we gotta clean it out. We gotta clean it. We have to figure this out because even the old fridge is still it's still there. So you can open it up. Obviously it doesn't work, but you can open it up and it actually has the old fridge area that they used to keep all the milk in to
Wow.
sell.
Nice.
And we found, so excited, because you remember how I was telling you about the bottles?
Mhm.
We found 5 in the house in random weird places.
Bottles.
Bottles, the milk
How
bottles.
about the cases that they go in?
I have 1 case.
I have more than that.
I have 1 case.
Elliot Walker.
I know, it's so cool. Our door knocker still says
Oh,
Elliot.
that's nice.
And we're never changing it because it
That's
does say it's a Walker.
Yeah.
And I have his original secretary desk with
Wow.
his original, he had all these like pens and stuff that have like feathers and have like the ink and everything
God,
like that.
that's
So I
so
have
cool.
those. I have his china set. I was like, oh my gosh, how cool. And then, so where our pantry is, one of the original parts of the house, my husband put all of his china set up top, like we really did it all that way. And then on the other side, my grandma and grandpa's stuff, their stuff with a picture of them with a picture of my great grandfather.
Oh, wow.
And, oh yeah, he did a whole section of like just historical things that meant something. And so there's a big picture like of my grandmother and grandfather with like a prayer thing next to them.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
it's a very cool home.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. It sounds it.
Very, very, very cool. Upstairs, I'm gonna be honest, it's been interesting because there's not a lot of plugs. So I'm like, oh Lord, wait a minute, we need an AC. Where are we gonna put that? But yeah, all the original windows, all the original floors, we're not changing anything like that. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna replace panes. Try and find the original windows if we can't replace certain things. I just really think it's pretty and beautiful.
Nice.
Sure it is, but you need to be practical. You gotta pay for all this, so I don't,
Oh, no, this is a want, not a need.
well. Have a good time doing that.
Well, you're,
We'd like a yard someday.
you're there, so, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. And
Awesome.
my father says, what are you doing today? Nothing, Dad, don't worry.
Rafa, did you have any houses that you thought to add?
No houses, but I would think all cemeteries significant.
Ooh,
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 I can touch on old cemeteries.
yeah,
Lots of history there for sure.
yeah, yeah. And a lot of the cemeteries. have-
Different architect, like tombstone, different styles, different make, different designs.
Mhm.
We love that. That's why I love the cemetery, the community church.
I have a book on the people who carved the stones and which stones from which cemeteries the same carver carved at, you know, and it lists them and stuff.
I love cemeteries.
I do too.
Me too.
I had a picnic there once. with friends.
Oh, well, that's random.
With friends,
Well, some cultures, they
Yeah.
offer food.
they bring food
to
in.
Yeah.
Well, when they were
Chinese.
making, you know, the garden cemeteries, the Victorian looking ones where they have all of the mausoleums and stuff,
Mhm.
that was the intent,
Yeah.
was so that people
Family.
could go and be there with their departed and, you know, remember, and they'd have their luncheon and they'd sit and talk
Like
and,
Notre Dame and Fall River, Oak Grove, all those
Yeah,
fancy
yeah,
ones
the ones
were
that
like
are-
intended to like landscapes, like intentionally space the
Right.
green area to not put stones for that sake of,
Yeah.
make it like a park,
it's a park. Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
And there's some beautiful ones, you know, around the country. All right. I will try and compile the list that we talked about. You'll have to send me the ones, you just highlight and, you know, cut and paste.
Sure.
That you thought of. Pat, you said mainly the schools, the one-room schools. And Grange and the Old Town Hall, the Atwood House. Phil Brooks. Oh, no, you said Phil Brooks.
Just one thing that I was thinking about,
And what used to be Watson's house.
Yeah.
That's got to have some history, and I don't think. we've
That's a
gone
that's-
anywhere up that way.
That's a Matthew Briggs house. There was two Matthew Briggs. One was
Oh,
known
okay.
as Uptown Matthew Briggs and one was known as Downtown. And they get very mixed up, you know, like we were saying, all the names are the same. It's the same
what's
there.
the house that's on Main Street that Washington allegedly stayed at overnight?
Oh, the
Maybe it's,
St. Oars, used to be Maggie St. Oars house.
oh, St. Hours.
St.
St.
Hours.
Hours.
Oh, the Brown Tower.
I don't know how relevant,
I never heard-
not how relevant, how
Lafayette's
accurate that is.
Flex house,
Yeah,
but they knocked that down.
yeah,
Gail Lafayette slept there.
yeah. You're saying that it's
It's in the
Yeah.
corner of, it's at
Yeah,
that corner of Main
around
Street and Elm, right?
Yeah.
right across from your red
Well, they
house.
Take 2109 Elm because they exchanged guns. for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
war.
I did think of
Throw
that,
on
yeah.
there.
Um,
The point is, what's the sense in the list? What's the expectation?
well, I think if we prioritize the ones that we have significance and declare them significant, so that the job is done in case something ever happens.
Like to prevent what happened to the half of the house, get it to that point, like prevent
Well,
it from getting
no,
to that
that it
point.
is significant, and then we let people know that we, you know, consider these to be significant. And I think we have to do, this kind of ties into just lost my whole train of thought. the local historic districts, it's like the public education, sharing of the history, why are things significant, and important? So I don't know, I kind of see like this list as a way to not always be behind, like all of a sudden something happens to a home and they come to us and we haven't no clue why it's significant or not. So that we have an idea why something is significant.
Oh, we just want to be prepared.
Yeah,
Proactive, essentially.
Okay.
yeah, because,
But of course, it doesn't carry any clout because some of these places that we're mentioning are town-owned. And if they're not gonna update and upkeep Carnegie Library, if they're not going to one-room schoolhouse.
Yeah,
So if they're
right.
not going to think it as a priority, why should
why should others?
Joe homeowner, that this one here wants to use her own original glass?
Yeah, I know,
You're
right?
sweet, you're sweet.
It's so nice. Yeah,
I just didn't know the expectation.
yeah, no, just to be a little more
Or
prepared.
At least keep it, in the back of your mind in case something comes up or whatever.
Is it a
Right.
list that we would eventually send to the selectmen, or is it more of an intern, not that we wouldn't
We could
share, not
start
that we
it.
wouldn't share it, but is
Yeah,
the
I
intent
mean-
to share it
We,
with anybody specifically, or is it more just a log and file for
I think
us?
for right now, a place for us, suppose we're not here, and the board is all
Mary
changed.
Bennett's house on,
That's the Richmond House.
that's the Richmond
Yeah.
house. Okay.
So like as the board would change,
You want them to know what we have already,
Yeah.
yeah,
kind of like a little proactive, a little. And of course, we know that any of these buildings, if they're condemned, it doesn't matter.
what we said, or what happened there,
Right,
right?
right. So, okay.
The only ones that I thought of, anything that was ever a tavern or a store. But just the fact that this used to be a store doesn't necessarily make it historically relevant, but are there any that were high profile areas of
Yeah.
commercial buildings in town ever that are still standing?
Oh,
Not now as a commercial place necessarily, but like, oh, so-and-so's house, that used to be a general store, that was the only general store for 20 years. Does anything like that exist, still stand in town?
What is the oldest business? Like,
Would it be the
that still
yes?
exists?
The oldest business?
Uncle
Maybe.
Bill's sore thumb was, Uncle Bill's. sore
Yeah,
thumb.
yeah,
That was a blacksmith shop.
right.
And the top of it was a different business. They took the blacksmith shop and added another business to it
Yeah,
and turned it into a single-family house.
right. So it's not a business anymore.
At one point, I had a list of the businesses, and it was the Daniel Andrews Grocery Store,
That was the
2090 Main Street.
red and white.
Babbitt's Store,
That's
1056 Center.
on Center Street. That's near the church. That's a house now.
Pitt Store and
Oh,
Mail.
we have, Crawford's house in the brick.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
No, no.
What about the white one across on Pine Street?
his father's.
Pitt Store and Mail Station,
Thank you.
Hmm.
You win.
21
Store and mail station.
2117 Williams.
Here is Form B for.
There we go.
Store and mail station, which is
Oh my God, I
now,
remember that
which
song.
is now Doodles Do Dog Care.
What?
If you've seen on Facebook, Happy Doodle Do Dogs. Have you seen nothing?
That came before zoning board.
Yeah, Happy Doodle Do.
That's where the.
It's a
the septic system's on the corner of Main
doodle,
Street and Williams.
doodle daycare place. Yeah, they came before Dayton,
It
before
doesn't
the
look
zoning
like
board.
that at all anymore.
Well, we
That's-
think
that's
that they have
the-
a
yeah.
business.
Yeah.
But it was a mail station and it was a
Right.
store.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and then I have a Joseph Gooding Clock Shop,
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
the
smashed.
corner of-
1209.
Yeah, so that's where the dentist office is.
Yep.
We have a Goff store, Benjamin, it says Benjamin Goff House and Store,
That's.
2709 Wellington.
Yeah, yeah,
Near the church.
near the
Uh,
church, yeah.
This Macros just calls it Ingalls/Lincoln and Store on 408 Main. So it must have been a house that was known by the Ingalls and Lincoln House. And it's also called a store, 408 Main Street.
That would be up towards your way, right? 408?
Is that Uncle Bill's?
And
Well, because The library's $3.95.
408, Uncle Bill's.
Bam, look at that.
If you read the write-up on the next page, half of it was a blacksmith shop and half of it was another shop. They put the two together. So yes, that's your Ingalls stores.
Alan Ingalls.
Near the library.
Oh,
Yeah.
Near the Dale Carnegie.
So this was at one point commercial, and then Hathaway Brown / Hathaway House and Tavern on 2104 Elm Street.
that's
the
on the
one I'm
corner.
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the Allen Sybil Hathaway and Telephone Exchange on 420 Main Street. That ring a bell to any of you? No pun intended, ringing bells to you guys. That's what the macro site calls it. The Hathaway Allen Sybil. So probably Allen Sybil Hathaway House and Telephone Exchange, 420 Main.
If Uncle Bill is 408, it's got to be on Uncle Bill's side, only go up more.
Right.
His house, Fornier's house.
Hmm.
Is it
John Fornier,
Fournier's?
yes.
420.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a telephone exchange.
I didn't either.
And then there's the really pretty red house that puts the candles in the windows every day. Beautiful home. They redid that. It's beautiful. Same side.
Oh, I know, I know.
Yeah, really nice.
They did a nice
Really
job
nice.
on
No
that.
parking anywhere.
Yeah.
So yes, apparently the historic name is the Allen and Sybil Hathaway House, but the common name says New England Telephone Exchange, the John and Rose Bolger House.
Those names don't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Is that the brick, not the brick building, but I mean, is that where,
It's either Fornier's or the red house.
yeah,
It's Main Street, its address is Main Street, but it's on the corner, the corner of Main and Palmer Street,
That's Fornier's.
That's Fournier's.
Mm.
Is it?
right there.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
it's Fornier's.
Okay. I like talking about this kind of stuff.
Really?
I do.
Evidently you don't.
Really? I would hope being the chair of the Zurich Commission.
Just really like
No, I
it.
know, me too. I know. I just couldn't resist the comment.
I know.
Moving on.
Okay.
Oh, that name John Bolger was a selectman in town, 1939 to 1949.
Nope.
And it was a switchboard was located in that house. It's kind of hard to read. It's all in cursive writing. It's very hard, but
Not
yeah,
very good cursive.
no, it's not.
That's
not
interesting.
comma method.
Yeah. Telephone office and switchboard and operator for about 40 years, 1900 to 1940, just dial phone. And then it said Rose and John Bolger most of that time. So it looks like Bolger lived there while it was also the switchboard location, apparently.
Don't laugh.
Yeah, that would have been.
Etta Fornia over in Berkeley.
Yeah.
on Locust Street.
Yeah.
She ran the dispatching center out of her house
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
for years. That's what they did.
Wow. Okay. Next, Pat, you had a list of demolished historic properties.
So I started printing them out. I started with 4. So this, of course, is the James Smith House on the corner of Main and 138.
Yep.
Then we are
Ah.
talking about the 2120 Water Street. Then my favorite, Red and White Market. And then I also, that's why I put the pit store and mail station on Main Street. So that's the first 4 that I have.
Okay.
Oh, so that hasn't been redone. It's completely demolished now.
Nope, they said it's, go buy it, it's red. If you see a doodle,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you can pet the dog. You need a what? Oh. It's right across from Camber's house.
Okay,
Yeah, and it was a mail station for the town.
you're kidding.
Pit store and mail station, that's what it used to be called. It's a house now.
Yep.
Did you get all those? The James Smith House, that was on the corner.
Mary has a list. I'm sure she has a complete list. of
I
all
have-
this.
I have a list of some that Myrna gave, that have been demolished.
Do you have the Form Bs?
Um,
Why should I reprint them if you already have them?
no, I don't have the Form Bs. But I have a list, some of them, like the James Briggs, never had a Form B done.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Surprised.
That is a
Well, that's
surprise.
surprising.
yeah. So there's like the James Briggs. Just quite a few. I'll send them to you.
Thank you.
And then there's like, from a long time ago, the Atwood Walker House, that would be down.
That had the paneling, which is in the Historical Society Hall.
That would be the Walker, no,
Oh,
that's.
different Walker.
Yeah, that's David Walker, that was the Lehman house. From what I can figure out, the Atwood Walker House actually went, it might have burned, now that I think about it. I've just like read pieces here and there, but it's down towards, almost like where the Sandpiper Lane is, down that far.
There was never a Form B for the Nathaniel Fisher House, was there?
I don't know.
Yes, there's a
Yeah,
Yeah,
Reverend Nathaniel Fisher House.
Yep.
DIG 110. Is the Macris number.
So this is the Hathaway House. Wait, it doesn't,
okay.
it doesn't.
So next we have the updated local historic district book.
Right?
Yep, 2020, that's the most recent. So I don't know, so I kind of like went through it, and I think we have to do some other kinds of educational things, this is my opinion, before we start really talking about local historic districts, like we're talking about significant houses. And then I started brainstorming with myself, and I'm like, oh, stop. Because, offering programs or opportunities for people to come and talk about their houses, something that revitalizes an interest in the houses. I know there's a lot of stuff like online that people say and do, but a more positive environment for our history. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna do all that, but that's the way I was thinking.
You think first we as a board need to become more knowledgeable about it?
Us to become more knowledgeable about it, and also, to talk more with the community about it.
Is that from the book that Shara printed last time, right?
Hmm?
That's the one that Shara printed. the copy of last time.
Yeah. So a couple of, like a couple of things that struck me is like, it doesn't prevent all changes from occurring.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
That's a big one
It
for
doesn't
people to be aware of.
halt growth, but it allows for thoughtful consideration of change. Dayton also has a master plan that was from, I think, like 2014. Does that sound right?
Yes,
And there's
yes.
some historic stuff in that.
We can just go back. So you said it doesn't halt growth, but it what?
Allows for thoughtful consideration of change.
So that was definitely relevant for me on zoning, and I would say planning board should know too, that if a district were established, we can't tell someone what to do with the house that's already there, but we can have it seems to be more say as to what goes in.
All right. And the
And
other,
that's relevant for me to know, and I think our board, the zoning board should know once we know exactly what that means, as to like, hey, we have a house coming before us in that district. It could be a potential reason to deny if we feel like it hypothetically, so that's good to know that it doesn't halt growth by right, but at least can.
one of the things too is to have discussions with your other boards and commissions, and a big one is the zoning. And so my question to you as a member of the zoning is, has the
As a member, I'm
zoning?
chairman.
As the chair, instead of the vice chair, here, there. has the zoning board ever talked about the historical parts of it or pieces of it?
The only time was recently with the Hathaway House, when someone, which at that point, we already knew it was being condemned. That was the only time that the historical. It's not entirely true, that in terms of like, within an actual already determined district.
Mm-hmm,
However, there was a house that was put before us in the Mount Hope area
mm-hmm.
that was going to be in the middle of, I can show you. It's been appealed right now. We denied it because we just felt we didn't need to put a house in the most congested part of town, especially where there are other reasons to deny. It wasn't just that reason, but a lot of it, what a lot of the abutters had to say was the historic nature. Like, do we want to keep adding, things to ruin the historic integrity of the neighborhood? So now that's not an actual deemed historic district yet, but that's the only other time I can think of when the historic nature has come up. The Hathaway House and then the one within the Mount Hope area.
So what are they trying to do? Push a piece, a building into a small lot?
Show you right now. Okay. So. Right here. As you can see, there's Bedford Street
Mhm.
Prospect. This white right there is an easement. Right there is a shed. Another shed and an outbuilding. They wanted to put a house.
Oh, that was in back of the,
The builder was
Yeah.
calling it 22R.
yeah.
Summer
It
Street.
was the easement where the people on Summer Street go into their garages. that are
Correct, correct. So the reason why the Dayton zoning board denied it. One was that you have to have 175 feet of frontage. Between that entryway there and that entryway here, the applicant was saying, combine those, our frontage here and our frontage here, that's how much frontage we have. Your frontage has to be contiguous.
No, that's not.
So we were like, no, that's already not gonna work. So if you were to pick one of them, it's still gonna be way too narrow, which you
Yeah.
can, which with the zoning board, we can say it's okay, it's narrow, that's part of what, the variance is. We felt like it was too narrow.
They want to stick it in there.
They want to they weren't gonna put anything new. They were going to tear down the biggest shed garage is what it was called on their plan, and put a house right in that same footprint. So it wasn't gonna be any bigger. It was just going to be,
An eyesore.
it's an eyesore right now. Because of how, like, Jim is this close to making these all have to come down because of how condemned they are. They're not condemned by that definition, but
They build those structures without permission.
nope, so those were there back when the village started, essentially.
Okay, so this road that was the road that Milliken would send his trucks to pick up trash
Mhm.
from those people's
Right.
homes.
Right,
So, yeah, here's your house, here's your shed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they've been around for a long time.
right.
All of these residents, no, I shouldn't say all, most of them have an easement to use that road.
Right,
So when
right.
there's a plow ban in effect, they all park their cars there.
right.
And we made sure that we told the applicant, just so you know, that easement stays. So if you put a house there and sell it to somebody, you're gonna have to tell them they can still go on that road.
Now, do they have that written in their deeds?
They do,
Yeah,
they do. We asked them, not that it was going to, we can't deny it because of that reason, if they're being easement, but that they all, we reached out and said, if you, and almost all of them supplied us
Yeah.
copy with their deeds were in writing, it does say. So we obviously denied it and they're appealing it. So all I can really say right now on it, but that was one historic part of town where new construction was started. Other than that,
So where did they go to appeal?
Mass Housing. Authority.
Oh,
Which is what, any decision that the town, the
Oh,
zoning
okay.
board or planning, or that's where they would,
Okay.
that's where
All
they
right.
go.
I didn't know where
Yeah.
it would go to appeal,
Mhm.
because you don't come back to the zoning board to appeal a decision.
No.
So once it's appealed, then whatever that appeal decides is what happens.
Correct. Sometimes they'll remand it to go back to the zoning board, where the state will then say, zoning board, you looked at this incorrectly, you need to apply X, Y, and Z. You need to re-vote on this. There are times where they'll straight up reverse our decision and that's it. Sometimes, and they'll back our decision. I
Okay.
don't, you know. But-
Now, does the housing
Mhm.
group or whatever, do they ever come out to visibly look at what is being appealed?
Not
Or
often.
do they just look at a map and say, I would think that they would have to come out and view the
They-
site? Is what I'm
They
saying.
get whatever documents that we have. So if our documents include an aerial view, which they do, they'll see that. I don't know if they'll actually come out, but I don't think it'll be just a black and white map. I'm hoping it'll also include a satellite view map where they can really see it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, those are the only two times that historic
Okay,
nature has
yeah.
come up. Now, planning, I don't know about
Yeah,
planning,
because
but
I think there has to be more communication, like between, in order that to do any kind of preservation, because it's planning and zoning and conservation too.
yes, and I would say open space
And open
are the
space.
other board I can think of, but that's a good point because
Yeah,
if I wasn't on the historical commission, the Hathaway house coming down, I wouldn't have known that.
I know.
Meaning, I guess what I should say is being on zoning board. I knew it was in a historic district because of my position on this board.
You're right.
Other than that, I would have not known that it's
So
a
in
historic
other
area.
words, boards don't look at what or further investigate their working knowledge of areas of town then. Am I correct? or-
It depends. So when someone comes up for a special permit, one of the things that the zoning board takes into account is the area in terms of like the historic integrity, stuff like that. If it's a variance, we simply have to vote on the shape, topography, and soil of the land. We can't say it's historic, we can't do anything, not for a variance. A special permit, we can, because a special permit requires us to consider the area.
So a special permit, say they were to blast something. I'm thinking personal. Like a cliff. And so like say across from my house, there's that big cliff right there. And
Talking down
I
on
know
Elm
it
Street?
was- Yep, and I know it was sold. And they were looking to build houses, but they would have to blast.
Permits to do something like that is not go before the zoning board.
Just a question.
Yeah, it's a special permit for construction,
Would go, yeah.
Okay.
but not
So-
for blasting like that. That would probably be up to Jim, I would imagine. But I don't even know if they,
But yeah, I mean, to
So-
even do that, it affects everybody's
Mhm.
foundation.
Mhm.
Like,
As well as
The terrain.
the terrain,
I mean,
drainage,
yeah, so I don't,
integrity of the street.
there's a house,
So-
there's a house that's adjacent to Zeke's.
yes,
Up there,
Yes.
that they wanted to do something for, that the zoning board denied, not for this reason, but all the residents were saying, they're gonna have to blast, what if there's damage done to my house?
Yep.
And the zoning board said, you are right, but we as a board don't have any legal basis to deny it for that reason. The most we can say is, if in the nature of construction, something happens to your foundation, unfortunately, the only avenue they have is to
Go after. the person.
is to go after the developer civilly in court and hold them accountable. We can't say, oh, you might blast, you might do this, because think about it. Then it's almost like, where do you draw the line? You can say, what if their crane hits my tree on the way into their property and falls on my house? We're like, okay, well, we can't say the crane might do damage to your tree.
Mm.
Like, at that point, we can't,
Mhm.
like,
Those are all.
what if the construction trucks drive on my lawn, rub my lawn? Okay, well, the Dayton zoning board can't say, we can't approve this because they might drive onto your lawn. At that point, you have to go take care of it civilly.
Given your statement, Zach, about that you wouldn't have known about 2120 being in a historic district, except that you were on the historical
Yeah.
commission.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it would be an informative thing to share with the zoning, planning, conservation, and open space, our brochures. If we go and do like a public hearing, public
It-
input.
it would, and I would say, I would have to discuss this with the board in terms of on our application, when one puts from a, one has a variance. Is there a line item? It is not, but put one in there that says, is your house, is your construction? Because then not everyone wants to build something new. They could be wanting to put on a shed. They could be wanting to, divide their property. Does your application, the property in your application, is it within a local historic district?
We don't have a local historic district.
I mean,
so-
the
yeah,
national,
yeah.
right? So I mean,
So, I mean, that would be one way, and also, I don't know. Probably have to think about this a little bit, like conversations with them about what our goals are for preservation of historical properties. Just so that there's an awareness.
I would say even, I'm sure it's probably within that book somewhere,
Yeah.
there's gonna be other boards that have asked the same question.
Right,
Right, because there's the one-room schoolhouses, right? Like, and then there's that one-room schoolhouse right across from
Right.
the property.
Let's say,
That's like, that to me is historical.
let's say someone bought a one-room schoolhouse that's now a house and wants to tear it down completely and build a house on that same footprint.
That's happened.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know its history unless the applicant tells us its history.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have some lawyers who are really good and will go for about 5-10 minutes on the history of the properties and who owned it back in the whatever date it was. But more often than not, that does not happen.
Mhm.
but
The fish school on Wellington Street, the new owners came to us at the 11th hour and said, we didn't know there was a 6-month demolition delay. We're buying this historic property, but we already have things in motion. Would you consider ignoring the 6-month demolition so that we can go ahead with our plans? Very nice woman. She came to the meeting, and we knew that there was nothing in that house that we were going to try to salvage, or other than it being a one-room schoolhouse many, many years ago, what was the significance? So we said to her that it would be okay for her to proceed. So we overrode our own 6-month
mhm,
bylaw.
mhm.
Now, the other question I've got, and I don't know whether you've seen it or not, and I don't know whether this is from something that we've had come to us before. Remember that woman that came and had that odd piece of property?
Yeah,
On 138.
yeah,
138.
Yeah.
So there's
Sale
a
again.
sign.
Yeah.
Now, would that, and how would somebody buy, would they buy that little piece there and whatever is across Muddy Cove Lane? Or was her piece of property where that red sign is?
That's for whoever wants to go look at it.
Yeah.
And we couldn't speak.
we
to
couldn't
that.
speak, yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking, the way she was talking, I thought it was across the street. I didn't realize it was that strip right there.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's like right next to, and I thought, where my father-in-law's house
Right.
was, the blue one.
Yeah.
I thought he owned right up to the thing, but the
No.
railroad.
the railroad, that whole railroad bed is owned. I don't know if it's all a part of hers, but that's all privately owned now.
So how big of a piece is that? Was,
Look into it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so, all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna read a little bit more. I was kind of concerned about, and also, oh, the other thing is like talking to property owners that, we're talking to the people, to the public about historic things, and we did do that with Mount Hope, and we have to do that again,
Yeah.
so, I'd like to see one of the things that we work on is being like a little more in the public, arena, I guess you would call it. Food for thought for tonight, though. So, does anyone have anything else about local historic districts? I think this is a little like premature for us to really be saying that we're gonna pursue it, because we don't have enough knowledge ourselves
We could start somewhere.
But I think we have to educate ourselves as to what it is and what we need to do. And also to, work maybe towards that at some point in time. Because I think about the Mount Hope area, yes, we're working on to get it onto the National Register, but that's not going to protect it.
Correct.
It's right, it's the local one now
Right,
that will protect it, and that's gonna come with more
right,
hands raised about it,
right.
as it should,
Yeah.
but
And so before we can talk about that, we have to be knowledgeable about it.
Mhm.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else on it? All right. CPC didn't meet in July. The library building committee met. Oh, it's coming along. The shims are on the windows. The flooring is done. They're waiting for some light fixtures. The storefront glass is waiting, is in, for the teen area. And they're waiting for the doors to go in, the glass doors to be electrified. The project is on time and within budget. We don't have an opening date until the shelves are set up so that they can determine square footage in order to determine occupancy. So once that's done, we're good. Plans are in progress for the grand opening. And Mark Prochnick, the library director, he's given a pre-ribbon cutting talk here at the Town Hall on August 28th at 6:30. If anyone would like to hear him. And then America's 250, we're working on a coin design. We'll have an informational table at the Dayton Community Church on October 4th. We still have to meet with Bristol Aggie to confirm the use of Woods Farm for the site for the reenactment. Summertime is tough.
Mm.
And our next meeting is September 8th. And we're also kind of working on some programming ideas because we had such fun with the other ones.
The write-up about the play, rough draft form.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want that done for the 8th meeting? Well,
Yeah,
before the 8th meeting, so you can review it, obviously.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That'd be good. I can put that on the agenda too. All right, our next meeting date is September 9th at 6 o'clock. Did anyone have anything else under other? No, we didn't have any correspondence. Historical sharing, Pat has something to share with us.
7:30.
You can,
No, I
no.
brought a lot of things and I'd really like more than 5 minutes of your
Oh.
time to share it. So can you put me on a little earlier next time?
okay,
I'll
yeah,
just
because
bring
we'll put some of the other stuff, make it a little shorter. Our discussion about the significant properties took a while, so absolutely, I can do that.
And the other thing, last month, we mentioned if someone in town had passed during the month, we were going to acknowledge their passing. Did we not?
I don't remember that.
Whoa. Okay,
We did talk about,
we certainly said that if someone significant, it
right, yeah.
might not have made the minutes, but we did talk about that. I don't know how many of you knew Pat Machado. She
Yeah.
lived on Center Street. She lived in Dayton many, many years. Very nice woman. Her name was Frances when she was single. She was 74. She grew up on Main Street. She moved to Center Street. She worked at 1712.
Giorgio.
oh, recently, so which what they're, like, wow, it's 1712 too?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. And so she passed, oh, I had her date written down. Oh, yeah, here we go. July 22nd. And she was 74. Very nice woman.
Now, that wasn't
Young.
Lisa's mother, was it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Very young.
well, thank you for sharing that. Pat was a lovely person,
Mhm. I knew her when she was a kid.
yeah.
oh, I recognize her.
I remember her from the restaurant when her daughter was there, and my husband says, oh, I don't know who she is. Jeffrey.
So on
Before he loses too much.
On the agenda, do we want a standard place to put, if we're gonna mention someone who has passed?
Well, we talked about doing that last month. I thought we
Whatever,
had.
just- I can have a special topic for it. And Pat, would you take charge of keeping track of that for us? Okay, great.
Oh, no, that's not my father.
Okay,
His father's name was Joseph Karen,
okay.
so he was not a junior.
But it says Leo. so-
I mean, Leo, yeah. My father was Leo
So no
Karen.
relation of yours either. The gentleman down here.
And my father's dad was Joseph Camille Karen.
Not that I know, but it doesn't mean no.
I
Okay,
just thought maybe it was a relative, that's all.
Leo Karen.
all right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Dad when he was a little kid.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.